He assisted immigrant residents, especially those in the disability community, and he helped them achieve economic self-sufficiency, and he provides technical assistance to community-based organizations to promote full inclusion. Henry has served on several boards and continues to be active politically. He and his wife Evelyn are the proud parents of Reginald, a young man with autism who lives independently in the community. Please welcome Henry Milorin. Henry.
Good morning. On behalf of the Commission, we also want to send a good shout out to Commissioner Howe. It's not we forget her. She's a good friend, a good ally. I would like to ask Evelyn and Reginald to join me, please. It's very important that you guys stand by my side because I'm only speaking for Reggie. Member of the Senate. See, because if I'm standing there by myself, you don't think I'm talking for me. I'm not talking for me, I'm talking for Reggie. You all know Reggie, and most of you know Evelyn's been involved in this. I was hiding because I didn't have a chance to be where, to do certain things in the opening. Member of the House, distinguished guests, greeting to all of you. I'm so happy on such a day to see every single one of you here. This year, our theme is our voice. Our voice, now more than ever. This is it. We have a curve now. We want to be heard. And we can't afford to wait anymore. As you heard, my name is Henry Milorin. I lost, I don't have a tag, but you can hear it. 40 plus years ago, from Haiti, I landed here in Massachusetts. I landed here because I was going to medical school. Within 2 years, my wife gave birth to the only son that I had. This boy named Reginald, who turned out to be this handsome, good-looking man. But the problem with Reggie, we didn't know Reggie we find out he was autistic. And not only he's autistic, he's non-verbal autistic. If you can talk, someone has to talk for you. If you can sing, somebody will have to sing for you. And my lovely wife here, Evelyn, and I share that burden. It's not to us. To us, we don't look at it as a burden, but basically as a blessing. We were blessed to do that. This is our calling. This is what we were meant to be. My youngest daughter, who happened to be out there, she's there. Normally don't represent her. Berlin, I asked you to stand up, please. She's 38 years old, married with 2 beautiful daughters. I'm a grandpa, Evelyn is a grandma. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. Beautiful daughters. But believe it or not, because of Uncle Reggie, and they love Uncle Reggie. They love to play with Uncle Reggie's bald head. They love to kiss Uncle Reggie. They love to ask, how you doing, Uncle Reggie? They love to communicate with Uncle Reggie. The oldest one, the 5-year-old, is already involved in disability issues. So that's a blessing for our family. That's our blessing for our community, because we know when we're done, because we don't know how much longer we have to go, we have somebody who's going to take our place and fight for our daughters and sons with disability. I'm standing here today in front of you full of emotion, knowing that people with developmental disability, who we also call DD, are far from achieving their potential. Before I proceed, we have to recognize the governor who happened to be here with us. The governor's right here, and we love to have him. and what the government can do to improve their lives. That is another improvement. This morning, we are calling on the government and members of the Massachusetts State Legislature to help find and provide and secure funding so people with DD can continue to live a better life, find the necessary service to live with dignity. Dignity, that's what we want. Here are the people with DD who are receiving benefit did not cause the economic crisis we're facing now or the deficit that we're going through. They do not accept to be scapegoated to pay for it. My dream is to ensure the long-term policies and planning are based on respect for individuals with DDs and their family. The number of people with DD is increasing every year. It outpaces any other subgroup in our state of Massachusetts. We got to do something about it. We got to provide more service, and I know we can do it. We know well that the government and legislators cannot provide us with all we need. However, we are reminding them and calling on them to provide us with what is necessary for us. We're not asking too much. We're just asking a little part of it. I'm sure we can have that. We have programs such as transition to adulthood, employment, housing, and personal care assistance program, the one we call PCA. These are the programs and policies that will negatively impact people with DDs if not properly funded. Let's look at them for a minute. Because transition to adulthood, the transition process is so complicated that the youth with DD is extremely challenged. Policies, systems, and services tend to be uncoordinated or fragmented sometimes, leaving the youth with disability with their family with a lack of necessary information. It is often reported that youth with DD has limited opportunity to participate in assessment and planning services, particularly in education, career planning. I'm asking organizations and service providers that we need to put aside our view that their group is different or special in order to find the appropriate services and support that we can achieve when all of us work together. When we work together, people with DD will benefit. Employment. We know that the vast majority of people with DDs in the state live in poverty. Not in Massachusetts, we can afford that. We got to do something about it. Regardless of where they live around the state, they have similar stories. There's a cycle of poverty and exclusion that is being created for individuals with DDs and their family. That seems almost impossible to break. We need to break that this year. Hear our voice now more than ever. People with DDs are excluded from education, employment, healthcare, and other services. And they also from belonging to their own communities. Parents and siblings face barriers to employment, adequate income, community services, and community acceptance. People's rights are denied. They feel invisible in development and poverty reduction. Personal care assistant. I'll tell you stories you probably don't know. If it wasn't for personal care assistant, I don't know how my wife and I would be able to function. We give up careers, we give up jobs because of that. The personal care assistant program is a very important program that helps people with DDs to live at home independently. This is a consumer-directed program which provides personal care services for people with DDs. The PCA works for the consumer with a disability. As the employee, a consumer chooses who to hire, and then also if you can hire, you gotta be able to fire. And they can fire that person. Set up a PCA schedule, supervise and train PCAs to meet his or her own personal needs. We need to train PCAs and pay them better to assure they will remain on the job. We need to do that. Without PCAs, just like I said, our son who live independently today, we will not know what to do. We will not be able to do anything. Housing. Poverty and poor living conditions contribute to health risk for people with DDs. Families with children who have a disability are more likely than others to live in housing conditions that makes them vulnerable to disease. Government can stop that. Government can stop claiming insufficient finances to address poverty and invest in affordable housing and support services. With disabilities so structurally related to poverty, inadequate housing, fragile livelihoods, and environmental instability, equal life for people with DD, their chances are becoming very impossible. We gotta fix that. With the institutionalization policy to practice, government must to ensure to commit to equality community-based services. From birth and throughout their lives, all people with disability must live in the community with support so they can experience belonging, participation, and membership. Children, youth, and adults must have access to inclusive education and lifelong learning, healthcare and social support to get a good start in life and live a good life. Proactive strategy must be put in place to assure they have access to adequate housing and employment, so that family must be fully supported to provide each of their family members with opportunity, support, and high expectation for a good life. Hear our voice now more than ever. Every single day, most of our member organizations and their thousands of local members hear from an individual or a family who's struggling to belong, to get needed support, to find a place in school, or get a job. We have to stop that. We know about this experience. We do it every single day. We find a way to respond to them. We're the one they come to. We're the one who turn them down. Why? Because there's not enough services. There's not funding for us. We have to find a better way. But all we do is not enough. People with DD are missing out on opportunities. They are denying their rights. They are dying unnecessarily. Wonderful lives cut way too short. Families who love and cherish their family members with DD time and time again face rejection by others. People with disability know this, but as they live it, others don't know about it. You have to be on that shoes to understand how they walk through it. Now more than ever, today we are calling on the government, the Massachusetts legislature again, to hear the voices of this so often forgotten group in the human service family. Now more than ever, we need to pass legislation to assure equal opportunity and access for people with disability. We must recognize employers who demonstrate leadership in hiring people with DD. We must provide training and technical assistance to business to promote employment and awareness disabilities. We need to better monitor programs for the disabled. We have to make sure that people with DD are taken care of. I'm extremely confident that our elected officials will find the opportunity to identify additional funding to help people with DD. That I am confident, and I know they will do it. There are a variety of things that we can do to continue to provide the necessary services for them. We need to treat people with DD as resources and not as subjects. If I am lucky enough to live a little bit longer than I have already lived, I guarantee you, my only wish is that I will spend each and every day that I have left to work harder for that cause, to assure that there are no more denial of services and of for our disabled daughters and sons. I will not cease, not shut up or put up until all services and participation for people with developmental disability become natural and not something we have to continually fight for. I intend to see it happen sooner rather than later. Now is the time.